The next question is question number 5. The question is, a literary work that ridicules the shortcomings of people or ideas is. A literary work that ridicules the shortcomings of people or ideas is dash. The options, option A, we have an irony. Option B, we have a fable. Option C, we have a mask. The actual way to pronounce that word is mask. Option D, we have a satire. Let us explain the meaning of those items in the options. The first is an irony. An irony refers to the recognition of a reality different from its masking appearance. Like someone that is short is coming, and you will tell people, behold, a giant is approaching us. In reality, the person is short. You are aware that the person is short, but you deviated from reality. So when you state the opposite of what you have in mind, we call it irony. A well-known criminal in your place is approaching you people, and you are telling people that a saint is coming. The difference between being a criminal and being a saint. So you are saying the opposite of the situation, the opposite of what you have in mind. Anytime you say the opposite of what you have in mind is irony. We say it's ironical. But we have various types of irony. We have verbal irony, dramatic irony, situational irony, or historical irony. The next option is a fable. I have explained the meaning of fable today. I said fable means a short story or tale told to teach a moral lesson. Often those stories are being told by animal characters. The next option is mask. A mask. But when you mask something, you cover it, which means it's hidden, it's not open. Mask means a performance, often allegorical, containing a hidden, usually moral or political meaning. A mask means a performance, often allegorical, containing a hidden, usually moral or political meaning. The last option there is satire. Satire is a term used for a literary manner, blending a critical attitude with humor and wit for the purpose of improving human institutions or humanity. A satire is a literary work that blends a critical attitude with humor and wit for the purpose of improving human institution or humanity. Satire hooks up society to ridicule, or it shows the foolishness of an idea or custom in an amusing manner, evoking laughter, content, or scorn. If you have come across a work written by Ngugo Watungo called The Devil on the Cross, written by Ngugo Watungo called Devil on the Cross. Watungo used it to satirize the capitalist setting in Kenya, in which the capitalists in the book are mocked as capable of commercializing anything, even to the point of thinking of privatizing and commercializing air. Wole Soyinka's the trial of Brother Jero is also a good example of satire. He used it to satirize religious hypocrites in the society. So we use satire to ridicule societal ills. Those things we talked that are not good in the society, what we do is to use satire to ridicule them. And one who writes satire is called a satirist. The best satirist in Nigeria is a famous Ofisan. He's the best satirist in Nigeria. The person that wrote Our Husband Has Gone Mad Again. The right option in the answer is D, option D, a satire. So it's a satire. What we use satire to do is to ridicule shortcomings of people or ideas in a society. Satire ridicules and provides solution as well. Satire does not ridicule only. It will ridicule that societal ill and provide solution to it. Correct it. Satire is like a corrective measure. Next question is question number 6. Question number 6 is the figure of speech in which the writer means the exact opposite of what he intends to say is. The figure of speech in which the writer means the exact opposite of what he intends to say is. The question is all about when you have something in mind, you have something in mind, but you deviated, you digress from that thing you have in mind and say another thing. Remember that you will do it intentionally. It's not unintentional. You do it deliberately. You have something in mind, you deviated, you digress, you leave what you have in mind, you leave the reality and say the opposite. The options, we have option A, paradox, option B, metaphor, option C, satire, option D, irony. Paradox, when something is paradoxical, it is a statement of fact or truth, which on the face of it may look contradictory, untrue, or even absurd. We said paradox means a statement of fact or truth, which on the face of it may look contradictory, untrue. It is usually used to attract attention and secure emphasis. The sense of using paradox is to attract attention and secure emphasis. It is a closer look or examination of the statement that shall then reveal the truth. You only know the truth in paradox when you go closer to it. When you closely examine it, that is when you are going to know the truth in paradox. Example of paradox is the egg is the father of the cock. At the surface level, you may not believe that this statement is truth. The egg is the father of the cock. You only know the truth when you go closer to this statement. So such statement is what we categorize as paradox. Option B is metaphor. Metaphor is a figure of comparison. Remember, in literature, we have simile, we have metaphor. Metaphor is a direct comparison of two things. Example, she is a pig. Every time you compare two things without using like or as is metaphor. It's a direct comparison. Look at the statement, she's a pig. What are you comparing there? You are comparing the dating eggs. Remember that pig symbolizes dirty. So anytime you said someone is a pig, it means that that person is dirty. But it's a direct comparison. You didn't use as or like. The next option is satire. I have explained the meaning of satire. Remember I said in satire, what we do is to satirize the societal ills. Those things we know that are not good in the society, we satirize them by ridiculing them or mocking them. And the essence of doing that is to provide solution to correct those societal ills. Next option is irony. An irony is the opposite of what you have in mind. The opposite of what you have in mind. An irony is a deliberate deviation from the reality to another thing. When you deliberately deviate, instead of saying how the person is or how the thing look like, you deviate. Remember that we have irony and we have sarcasm, and two of them, they look alike, but they are not the same. The right option here is irony. This question is question number 7. Question number 7 is action without speech in a play is. Action without speech in a play is. They are talking of that form of play in which the actors or actresses use their body, use signs to communicate instead of words. Don't use speech to pass information. Rather, they use their body, they use signs to pass information. In the options, we have epilogue. Epilogue is option A. Option B, we have mime. The actual way to pronounce that word is mime, not mime, mime. Option C is soliloquy, soliloquy. Option D is aside. Option D is aside. Let us explain those items in the option. In the play, we have prologue and epilogue. Prologue is the introductory part of the play, while the concluding part of a play is epilogue. That we have American way of spelling epilogue and we have British way of spelling epilogue. The one we have here is British way of spelling that epilogue. But when you remove UE, that is American way of spelling epilogue. So epilogue means the concluding part of a play. The summary part of a play is what we call epilogue, while prologue is the introductory part of a play. Mime is a form of a play without words. You use your body to gesticulate, to pass information. You don't use words to pass information. There's no speech in mime. That form of a play without speech is called mime. Option C is soliloquy. Soliloquy is a situation in which a character speaks his thought without addressing a person. A character speaks his mind without addressing a person. We call it soliloquy. If you are soliloquizing, you are talking to yourself. At times, we are talking to our inner spirit. Under that condition, the actor makes a loud speech to himself without minding other characters on the stage. The character is talking to himself on a stage, speaking out his thought without addressing a person. It's when we have been overwhelmed by challenges, we might behave in that manner. We might be talking to ourselves. Anytime you are talking to yourself, we are soliloquizing, soliloquy. But that soliloquy is different from monologue. Though two of them, they look alike, but they are not the same. And the last option there is aside. Aside is a direct remark to the audience. When you talk to if a character talks to the audience directly, we call it aside. A direct remark to the audience. You are talking to the audience directly. You are talking to them as if they are part of the cast. When you are talking to them directly, we call it aside. Aside means a direct remark to the audience. The right answer there is option B, mime. Mime means a play without speech. Any play without speech is called mime.